So we're going to take a look at the two Howard Jones reissues that came out on Friday the 30th of November. Now these are Howard's first two albums, so 1984's Humans Lib and 1985's Dream Into Action. Now Cherry Red acquired Howard Jones's catalogue last year, and they put out a 3 CD best of, which you might remember. There's the best of that they released. So that was just to kind of keep things ticking over while they actually worked on the catalogue. Now they acquired the catalogue from Warner's, who hadn't really done very much with it. And of course Howard's first two albums are the big ones. They're the big selling albums with all the hits on it. It's quite interesting actually to consider that there's quite a few artists that had two really big albums and then things started to sort of slow down a bit. So Paul Young's an example, Nick Kershaw's another example. There's lots of artists that had two big albums and then didn't really replicate the same level of success. Anyway, let's take a look. So the albums are being reissued. There's 3 different physical formats. So there's a 2 CD and a DVD format, which is about £25. There's a vinyl, limited coloured vinyl version of both albums, which is sort of £20 to £25. And then there's what they're calling a super deluxe expanded box set edition of both, which retail for around the £96 mark. So we're going to take a look at the box sets of both albums in this video, and also we're going to have a look at the 2 coloured vinyl reissues. Cherry Red have kindly supplied these for the super deluxe edition video, so we'll have a dig in and take a look. Now the first thing I'd say, funnily enough, when I looked at Dream Into Action first, and I saw Super Deluxe expanded box set along here at the bottom, and I thought, oh, I don't know if they needed to put that there. I don't really get the idea, because mostly people will buy these box sets online. You're not going to get that many people in shops looking at something thinking, I wonder what that is, I need to know what that is. And therefore you've got the explanation at the bottom, and that isn't really how people buy box sets these days. Shops don't have the retail space to put them out, etc. So I would argue that's a little bit superfluous having that there, and slightly spoils the cover. The box did have this sort of hype sticker, so it's it's fairly obvious what it is. It's debatable whether you need this, and you also need this as well. I don't really think you do. But anyway, so I didn't think that was very good. But on Humans Lib, it's arguably worse, because it's slap bang in the middle of the cover. I don't want to be negative from the get-go, but I think that's a bit weird putting that there. I think it really spoils the cover art and the cover image. Everyone will have their own view on that, but anyway, that's the first thing that came to mind when I saw this. The actual box itself, is nicely done. It's got the title of the album along the side, so when this is on the shelf you can actually see what's going on. And the back here obviously lists out all the content, so you get the 2 CD and DVD set. You get the picture disc, there's another DVD, another CD and a cassette, so we can have a look. Here it confirms it's the region 3 DVD, assume it's NTSC, so that should work everywhere. So let's open up and take a look. So this is a good old-fashioned lift-off lid box set. So the first thing we get is the picture disc. These are only available, as far as I'm aware, as part of this box set, so you can't get them anywhere else. So obviously you can see some detail from the cover art. I mean, I would question again some of the decisions here. Do we really need the track listing on the front of the picture disc? Not sure that we do. Same goes with the other side, and you've got the Cherry Red logo, and there's a lot of detail on here that doesn't, if this isn't a standalone product, you don't really need to put all this stuff on it. So it might have been nice just to have the cover art at least on one side, and then on the other side maybe have the details of the track listing, etc. So that's the vinyl picture disc. Now talking of vinyl, this might be a good time to show you what the standalone coloured vinyl looks like, because that's not part of the box. So in the box you get the picture disc, but there is a standalone white vinyl edition, which I'll show you. So this is just a quick diversion. This is the vinyl. So it's the usual cover, back cover. On the original, this bit here was spot varnished. It's not spot varnished on the reissue. And then inside, on the original, you've got the lyrics on the inner sleeve. On this reissue, you don't, but what you do get is some quite good notes which talk about the album, and also Howard does a track by track annotation which is really good, so that's quite nice. And it looks good. I mean, the vinyl reissue looks really good. So that's, but this, just to be clear, this isn't part of the box set, this white vinyl reissue. In the box set, the vinyl that you get is this picture disc. Now, of course, picture discs never sound great, so you're not really buying this for the audio quality, which is another reason why you kind of wonder why they don't make it a bit more visual, not bother with some of the text. Okay, next up. So this is one of those boxes where there's just bits and bobs in it, you just work your way through it. There's a replica Risk fan club wallet, and then there's a replica tour program here as well. So this just takes you through sort of 83, what you'd expect basically. It's got a little diary actually of events, some original adverts. Now this is good, this is one of the best things about this box set. It's got an excellent art print of the album artwork printed on high quality paper. So that's one to get framed or try and get signed by Howard. And then what we're left with here is the box itself, which contains a replica cassette which replicates Howard's original demo tape. So these are kind of early demo versions of some of the songs. And this is the other content here. Now, I mean, I must say, I think it feels a little bit cheap to me, this. Foam inserts for box sets cost more than the card ones. So considering this is nearly £100, Cherry Red have gone for the cheaper of the two options, which I think is a bit of a debatable choice. And then this section here contains the optical discs. And then at the bottom here, there's some badges. But this is quite interesting because what they've done, you could argue this is a bit of a cost-cutting exercise for what is an expensive box set. But Cherry Red have put in the big box the 2 CD DVD edition, which is a standalone edition. So this is the one you can buy for £25. So it's the album, some bonus tracks, some more bonus tracks on the second CD, and then a DVD which adds videos, TV appearances, etc. Top of the pops. So that's pretty good DVD, pretty good second CD with, you know, a variety of mixes, etc. But yeah, this is very much the standalone product. And then the extra CD that you get is in this kind of little card case, which I think is a little bit kind of not very deluxe, if you ask me. Don't really like the idea of having two separate things knocking around. I mean, it's supposed to be one product, so I'll be interested to what other people think about that. This is the disc that's not available anywhere except in the box set. So these are where you get some real rarities, some early Farmyard mixes of songs. Farmyard Studios was Rupert Hines' studio where Howard recorded all his stuff, all the early stuff anyway. There's some Kid Jensen radio sessions, etc., rough mixes. So this is kind of quite sought after content, but you do have to buy the box set for it. So personally, I don't really like this idea of having two things. And the same goes with the DVD as well. So this is the Live in Japan DVD. And again, same kind of slipcase. There is one distinct advantage of all this, is you can take it out of the box and put it on a CD shelf, so that's quite good, I suppose. If it's a big book, then you can't do that. So this is a 5-disc set, as you would have seen. I don't really like this presentation, I have to say. You can say, well, how else could they have done it? I think I would have preferred the book approach, with a hardcover book, you know, lots of essays and notes, and then the discs in the back page, and you know, it can slot next to similar products like the Wet 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 popped in sold out book, for example. Yeah, this is a £96 product, so you have to look at this content here and think, okay, I can buy the 2 CD DVD set for £25, so for an extra £71 you're getting 1 CD, 1 DVD, a picture disc, and the print and the booklet and the bits and the badges and the bits and bobs. So whether that's great value for money or not is up for debate. So that's Humans Lib. So as you might expect, the Dream Interaction box very much follows the pattern here, so let's have a quick look at that one. So again, the cover looks good. I mean, I've always thought this cover was slightly weird. It's never looked great. Something about the coloured filter on Howard Jone. As I mentioned earlier, I don't really like the fact they've got this writing on there. I had the cassette of this at the time, and it had a yellow chrome cassette band at the bottom, which was always really annoying. Same thing here, the picture disc, and really the same issues for me. All the text and the track listing, it's completely unnecessary. It kind of spoils the visuals a little bit. So why not have one side with just the album cover? That would have been a good thing to do. The tour program here is much bigger, and look, I mean that's quite a nice example of seeing the cover on its own. Obviously it's got the 85 on it, so it's not actually the album cover. There is a print in a minute, we'll see that. This is quite thick, this brochure, quite glossy. Lots of good content, lyrics, photos, etc. There you go, I mentioned the chrome cassette, it says chrome cassette there. Very important, the fact that it was a chrome cassette, obviously. So that's the tour program. Another great print. I mean, the prints are excellent. And as you can see here, I mean, it doesn't have the cassette, this one, because that cassette had a very specific reason for it being here. But so you've got the 2 CD and the DVD, extra discs underneath like before, a fan club membership card thing, and then some badges again at the bottom. But again, I mean, I have to say, feels quite cheap. I mean, this bit here in particular, there's a sort of loose bit of card wobbling around. I thought it was some content, but if you can actually pull that out, you think, well, what is that? Maybe this was done at the wrong depth and they had to boost it up a bit. So here's the 2 CD and DVD. So album, bonus tracks, CD2, mixes, edits, etc. And a DVD with promo videos and TV appearances. So very much consistent with the other one. I mean, this is nice. I have to say the 3 disc editions are pretty good value and they look good. These do come with their own booklets. I didn't actually get the booklet out for the last time, but the notes in this booklet are the same as the notes that were on the inner sleeve on the coloured vinyl. But one thing to consider is in this entire box, this £96 box, this is basically it for notes and annotation and just talking about the new content. That's it, that little booklet. So when you consider some of the McCartney books or the Roxy Music books or the Wet 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 book, it's not a great deal of content. So this is the Farmyard Sessions. So this is the bonus CD that you can only get if you buy the box set. So lots of early versions, alternative mixes, etc. And this is another video, Howard live in concert from '86. I don't know if this is replicating some original artwork, but it looks a bit cheesy to me. So the same criticisms, I think. It's the kind of box where things are bundled into it rather than one special bespoke presentation. Before I put everything back, this is the standalone vinyl, coloured vinyl edition. So these are those notes I was referring to. This is what you get in the booklet for the CD. There's no lyrics on the coloured vinyl. It's a very interesting green, this. It's kind of slightly unusual, but quite vivid, quite vibrant. Kind of matches the cover. But just recapping them with the box, so we've got the badges at the bottom, the extra DVD, the extra CD, the 2 CD and the DVD at the top, the print, the booklet, and the picture disc. I mean, you have to say, to me, there's a little bit of a hint of how much do we want to retail this box for? What can we put in it to get to that price? Let's compare content. I mean, if you look at this, could have been like the Marillion set, but the thing is, you can only charge about £35 maximum for this kind of thing. So this has got 5 discs in it, 5 optical discs, the same as that. The other thing to point out is this does mix vinyl and CD, and that's a bit of a no-no for a lot of people. If they just kept to the optical version, they could easily have done something like this. It's less margin, something like this, a £96 box set, a £30 deluxe book package, you know. Or if you think of the early McCartney sets, this is another way they could have done it. Photos, lots of notes, interesting presentation. And then at the back you've got the discs in the books. That's just another example of an alternative way of presenting the same information. I mean, this book at the time it came out was about £80. less than the Howard Jones box sets. So I think to summarise, I'd definitely give these a solid 4 in terms of the content. But when it comes to the price and the presentation, I think it's probably a 3, because the vinyl picture disc feels a little bit superfluous. And there's some touches around the box set, the use of card instead of foam inserts, and the fact that they've effectively done it in a way that they can bundle in the 2 CD and the DVD and then just create a separate disc feels a little bit cheapskate to me. So I'm really pleased they've reissued these, and I think perhaps there's future plans for these albums, 5.1 mixes, etc. I did actually speak to Howard about the reissue, so there's an interview coming soon on Super Deluxe Edition. I haven't listened to the audio yet. I'm looking forward to doing that because, as I say, I think it's a really good selection. But for now, this is Paul from Super Deluxe Edition looking at the 2 Howard Jones Super Deluxe box sets from Cherry Red.